Welcome people, I'm Lee and this is Pursue Purpose. I'm a British soldier and if you can't tell, I run ultramarathon. If you are watching this on the release, I'll be 2 hours into a 40-mile ultramarathon from Porthcawl to Penarth. I thought it would be cool today to give you 5 things I wish I'd known before I completed my first ultramarathon. Be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to give you some of my bonus quickfire tips. Tip number 1, eating is a necessity. The problem, when you run an ultramarathon, don't get caught up in the excitement and forget to eat. I'd say there's a 98.657% chance that during the ultra, you won't feel hungry at all. And before you know it, you've caught up in momentum, 3 hours has passed and your body is screaming for energy, it's screaming for sodium, and it's screaming for the electrolyte. Let's look at the action. What can we do then? During your training, you need to practice fueling and find out what that works for you, whether that's tailwind, whether that's kind of mint cake. For the beginners, I would say that I would eat every 30 minutes, set an alarm on your watch, so you can eat every 30 minutes, whether that be a gel, whether that be a bar, something a little bit more palatable. By setting a timer, you can ensure that you're not missing out on that valuable energy and you're not going to crash and burn later in the race. And trust me, when I say this, most of the time, you will not want to eat. So learning to force feed yourself when you're running long distance is going to be very beneficial. How I'm going to work it is, or how I usually work it is every 20 minutes, I will have a drink of tailwind. Every half hour I will have a salt tablet, and then every 45 minutes I'll have something to eat, to nibble on a bar or a kind of mint cake or a shot block. Another tip for eating would be, if you're going to try and eat, make sure it's in line with walking uphill. That way it's easier to digest. That brings me on to my second tip. Walk all hills. Now listen, there's been more times than I can remember where I've seen many people in the early stages of an ultramarathon running uphill, and then 5-10 kilometers later I'm passing them because they've burned out. No problem. When you run uphill, your heart rate increases. When your heart rate increases, you expend more energy. When your heart rate has increased, it's harder then to bring that heart rate down into the aerobic zone. So therefore, you're going to burn out a lot sooner. Action. What do we do about it then? The time you lose by walking up the hill, you can gain back by maintaining a steady pace from saving that and consuming that saving that energy, just by the simple fact that you haven't burned out sprinting up some hill because the ego won't let you walk. And the third point, you need to stay calm and take the extra time you need. Now, the problem, many times I've been in a race without recceing it first. Then when the day arrives, when it comes to navigation checks, I'm usually flat out and I don't have time. I'm just like, which way go, right or left, and often it's the wrong way. I'm too worried about wasting time checking the map than I am actually about getting the right route. Action. Understanding that the time that I spend ensuring that I'm going the right way is going to be way less than making up for where I've gone wrong and running a few kilometers the wrong way. Now, I know this all too well. In a few races ago, I had this scenario more than once, and I turned a 23-mile race, trail race, into a full-blown marathon with an extra 1,000 feet of elevation, and I went from leading the race to finishing 5th, all because I didn't take that time and make sure that where I was going was the right choice. You have to understand the reason you enter a marathon. Take the time, take in the scenery, take in the views, take a photo, have regular walk breaks, and most importantly, don't put too much pressure on yourselves. I mean, it's an ultra marathon. As long as you get to the end, that is the main thing. Tip number 4, pack your kit correctly. The problem, everything needs to be easily accessible. You need to know where everything is in order for you to be able to access it when you're running. Salt tablets, shot blocks, water, gels, spare tailwinds. We need to have this down in practice, so when it comes to race, we're not faffing about and taking our jackets off and got things in the wrong places. because that's just going to waste time. So the action, make sure we practice it in training. Get everything settled because things will jiggle. And tip number 5. Mindset, the problem. Many people when running an ultramarathon will quit and pull out when they feel the first sign of pain. Action. I actually did a podcast with Tom Evans a few months ago, and he said something to me that stuck with me, and he said you have to expect it to hurt. Now going into a marathon or a big race, it's going to hurt. An ultramarathon will hurt. You have to expect it to hurt, knowing at some point you're going to want to quit. It's crucial. This way we can prepare mentally for it, so when it does come, we know it's coming, so we're in a better mindset to overcome it. Also, you need to realise that the pain can go away. One moment you can feel fantastic and on top of the world, and then the next you've got cramps and muscle aches and you can't walk, and then a couple of miles down the road you're good again. So you're not going to feel the same throughout the ultra. Good thing I like to do is to split the race down, and when you pass that distance or that checkpoint or that location, tick it off, give it a mental tick, and this helps break down and make it not so daunting. Guys, those are my 5 tips. I'm going to give you now my bonus tips for running an ultramarathon. Take Imodium. That's going to stop any toilet issues you have got. Sort the playlist out. Often there's no signal on the course or an ultra, get it sorted before you go. Take pictures, always good to look back on, especially if you've had a tough day in the office. Socks, a good pair of socks can save you from having horrendous blisters. Vaseline is your best friend. Don't carry too much kit, there's no need for it, there will be aid stations. Run your own race, don't run something you haven't trained for by getting carried away. Talk to as many runners as you can. The experience is there to be had, okay? This is going to live with you for the rest of your life if you're going to only plan to do one. So make the most of it. And smile. It never ever hurts if you smile. So, those were the 5 things that I wish I'd known before I ran my first ultramarathon. Stay tuned to my channel to find out how my race, my 40 miler went. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, and I'll see you in a few days.